Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about visas because there's been a lot of changes recently in the visas here in the Philippines, including a digital nomad visa coming very soon. First off, though, please, it doesn't cost you anything. Please click that subscribe button. You can also click the like button, but the subscribe button doesn't cost you anything, I promise you. And we have almost 700 videos here about the Philippines, so I'm pretty sure you might find something you might like to watch. You never know. All right. So first off, I've been getting a lot of messages recently about visas asking, can I work in the Philippines? What can I do? What kind of visa do I need? What do I need to come to the Philippines to retire? Those kind of things. And I get it. I Googled and I now know what you guys meant. Holy smokes. There's so much outdated information, wrong information, really hard to find good information. So it took me a long time to go through it all, make sure it's trusted in the government sources, that kind of thing, in order to present this to you. So first off, let's start with the obvious one, which is the retirement visa. There are 3 different stages of the visa, and I'm going to show you here a Freedom of Information request that will blow your mind. There isn't that many people retired here in the Philippines that you might think. So I'm going to bring it up real quick. As you can see here, the amount of countries, this is effective December 31st of 2022. It was a Freedom of Information request that was done and generated on January 3rd of this year. So very, very recent. And you'll be surprised to see that it's China, then Korea, then India, then America. So wow, big change since America doesn't have bases anymore here. That is pretty shocking. So these are active retirees with retiree visas here in the Philippines. And as you can see, because the primaries is the P, only 17,297 primaries are even in the country with this visa active. Pretty small number considering there's almost, 120 million people in this country? That is incredibly small. And so the information you really, really want to stick to is this website, which is pra.gov.ph, okay? I know it doesn't really seem like a government site when you look at it. It's like a little questionable, but no. The links directly come from the actual government website, always say to go here. It's like a program they have to help retirees come here to the Philippines. And there are different visas if you're military or not military, those kind of things. And it's all listed there. And so it's pretty good because you actually get indefinite stay with multiple entry and exit privileges. So just come and go as you please, no problem from that. You don't need an ACR card like we have. You don't have customs and duties and stuff like that to import some stuff of your own private use, but only up to $7,000. Travel tax and stuff like that for going in and out of the country. You won't have to worry about that as long as you haven't stayed longer than 1 year. Student visas, study permits and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about that. You can go to school here, no problem, and study all you like. You don't need a special visa for that. Access to all their programs. They have them at the different airports. They have newsletters. They have a lot of help, and including you are entitled to PhilHealth, which is the socialized health care here. So there are benefits and privileges. You do have to pay into it like every other Filipino, but perfect. You have access to that now. So there is different ones. The SRRV Smile, which is for active retirees who opt to maintain their SRR visa deposit of $20,000 or more into a bank account. Really simple. These are for people without pensions. Then you have the SRRV Classic, which is the people who have pensions who are going to be active, healthy retirees. That are going to put money like into a condo or into some kind of investment or like a long-term house lease is even allowed. So for that, if you have to be 50 years or above and you need $10,000 if you have a pension deposited into a Filipino bank account, and your pension must be at least $800 per month. If you're single and if you're a couple, $1,000. Secondly, $20,000 must be deposited in a Philippines bank account if you don't have a pension. Also, one thing you should note, if you are going to do a condo or a property or some type of investment like that, it must be worth at least $50,000. Also, you'll notice in there that I haven't said anything about people under the age of 50. Right now, they have not reintroduced it since they ended it during the pandemic. So it's only available for 50 and up, no matter how much money you have. They do have another one called SRRV Human Touch. So for people who are ailing, need medical care, those kind of things, clinical care, 50 and up, then they just need you have a pension of $1,500 or more per month. You need a health insurance policy that's accepted here in the Philippines, and you need to make a deposit of 10,000 US dollars into a Philippines bank account. Next, we have SRRV Courtesy. This is for former Filipinos who've been gone a long time, 50 years and above, or foreign nationals 50 years and above, but who are retired officers of an international organization that's recognized by their foreign affairs department here. So that could be, any of you were foreign affairs in another country. You could be part of UNICEF, or I don't know which ones they accept, but they'll have a list somewhere. For that, the visa deposit is only $1,500. So I guess because you're very trustworthy, because you were part of an organization that they recognize. The last one is an SRRV Expanded Courtesy. That one is for foreign nationals 50 and above who are retired armed forces officers. Or it says, or for countries with existing military ties or agreements with the Philippines government. You must have a monthly pension of at least 1,000 US dollars and an SRR visa deposit of $1,500 required. So much cheaper than 20,000, 10,000, all the other ones we were talking about. Only a $1,500 deposit. This includes the primary and 2 dependents. So it's actually a really low number. If you have an additional children, well, then they're going to be $15,000 for each child above that. Now, if your children are Filipinos or anything like that, they don't pay. There's no payment for them. Those children, though, cannot be 21 or older. They're not children anymore, so they must be under the age of 21 at the time of application. And there is a one-time application fee when you apply for this. For the primary, it's $1,400 US dollars and $300 for dependent applications. Then there's an annual fee of $360 that includes 2 dependents and the primary. You have to pay every year to maintain your visa. Now, a lot of people will say, but it says on there, I can work. And it's true. That department does say that you have the right to work here in the Philippines. But there's a but. And unfortunately, the but is pretty big. You need an alien employment permit. That's called an AEP. So anybody who is an alien to this country must have one of these to work here. And there's a very specific caveat to this, and I'm going to read it exactly how it's written. The alien employment permit is a permit issued to a non-resident alien or foreign national seeking admission to the Philippines for employment purposes after determination of non-availability of a Filipino citizen who is competent, able, and willing at the time of application to perform the services which the alien is desired. Very basically, if a Filipino can do the job, you can't have the job. So there's very, very few jobs that a foreigner can do here. Sure, some of the call centers and companies that are located here might need people that speak your language. And it could be like Norwegian, or it could be German, or something like that. And well, yeah, there won't be a lot of Filipinos that speak fluent German and those kind of things. There are call centers where it's the person working the front desk is actually in the Philippines. So when you're calling from your room down to the front desk, you're actually talking to somebody here. Well, they might have a couple people that rove around that have direct knowledge of, say, New York City, where that hotel is located. They want somebody from New York City so that if there are any questions that come up that's very specific, they can call that person over and say, actually, just let me check with somebody. And then they hand the phone to that person. They can talk like a New Yorker, talk about the neighborhood. Maybe that's an exemption. I recently was asked to be on a TV show here in the Philippines because they need a foreigner to act in a TV show. I had to say, no, unfortunately, I can't because I'm here on a visitor visa. There is no way for a visitor visa to turn into a work permit in such a short period of time. There would have to be a whole application process in order for them to say, yes, we need a foreigner that looks American, Canadian, whatever it was, in order to act this role. Sure, that would have gotten approved, but there wasn't enough time. So unfortunately, no acting for me. End of this whole thing is it is very difficult to find a job that a Filipino wouldn't qualify for here in the Philippines. So it's very, very hard. Let's just put it that way. I keep getting a lot of emails asking about this stuff, messages all over. Hey, listen, how can I find a job in the Philippines? You just can't. I'm sorry. There's a very small percentage of you that could find a job that would be approved. If you do have a job here in the Philippines and, you have a special skill or something like that, put it down in the comments. Let us know. Maybe some people will jump onto that. Maybe you're really good at AI or really crazy good at programming. You're one of the best 10 in the world. Of course, you're going to get approved. You want to be a doctor here in the Philippines, I'm sure they would approve you also. But for the most part, for most people, just wanting a regular job, probably not going to work. So visitor visa, obviously we are still on a visitor visa right now. It's really easy. You can apply when you land here. You get your first, was it 30 or 60 days? I don't know. All I know is you just come here, you can apply for visitor visa, go in to any immigration and renew it before it expires. You can do that for 3 years without leaving the country. After that, you can just hop out of the country, come back in and reset it again. Obviously, you can't work here if you're on a tourism visa. You can be a tourist. You can film it all day long and stick it on your social medias like we do, but that's all you really can do. You cannot earn a single dollar in this country from a Filipino company or person or anything like that. You're here as a tourist. Now, our plan, obviously, is for Bianca to get her citizenship because she qualifies for dual. Once that's done, I will get a 13A visa because now I'll have a Bayan visa, which means you married a Filipino and you can, in this country, you can stay here. That's no problem. You're married to a Filipino, you can stay here. And once that process is done, I can get a 13A visa, which is a working visa for people who are married to a spouse. I could start a business. I can go take a job. Once again, though, my job will fall under the AEP. So I'm more likely to start a business or maybe act as a foreigner in a TV series. There you go. I could do that. But for the most part, I don't have a lot of special skills, like some kind of PhD in something or anything. I don't have anything like that. So it would have to be only something that you really, truly specialize in that a Filipino can't do. I don't know. The only things that only foreigners are expected to do, like act as a foreigner on TV. Well, we'll see when that comes to it. So we're more likely than not to just start a business, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's get to this digital nomad visa that everybody is thinking about and probably watching this video about. This is brand new, just happened in June, okay, very, very soon. And it's a brand new bill that is in the House. I don't know if it's approved yet. This is the crazy part. It was like mid-June 2023. They announced that it's coming out soon. They've already posted that they're going to have like a launch sort of thing in Siargao, which is like the surfing area, in October. So clearly they think it's going to be approved. I've asked my congresswoman here that we know to let us know what's going on with it. Give us some details. I will pin it in the comments when she replies to me so I can tell you when it's expected to happen. But the good thing about it is, yes, once it's approved and it's done, you can come here for up to 12 months, renewable for another 12 months. And you can work here as long as your employer is remote, right? In another country. It can't be a Philippines company. But, if you're from Canada, you work for a Canadian company, but it's remote, you can come live here, California, wherever. The reason it is that it is a visa that doesn't have any tax purpose. So you are not considered a resident for tax purposes. So you don't have to pay double tax or anything like that. You just pay your tax in the home country where you have that job or whatever country you have that job. Taxes are deducted there, but not here in this country. They will not be taxing you again. This is very common. All digital nomad visas are like this so that people can just travel the world and still do their job on their computer and not worry about taxes in every country that they travel to. Now, digital nomad tourists, according to the research that Congress had done, is that they spend more money than retirees or even tourists in the home country. And it makes sense. They got to get a long-term lease on something. They're earning money all the time, so they're probably going out partying and drinking and eating and they're not on a pension, they're on a fixed income, that kind of thing. They can work more, make more, that kind of thing. And so it kind of makes sense that they actually do spend a lot more in the home country. It's like a tourist on steroids. They just a whole other level of tourist because they have money coming in. So anyway, that is going to happen very, very soon. The really cool part is you can come here and you'll be able to work, be a keyboard warrior, not pay any taxes here, not have to worry. Nobody's going to come and haul you out of here. It's totally legal as long as it's not coming from the Philippines. You cannot work for a Filipino company online. That's not allowed. But that's it. Otherwise, you're good to go. You cannot use that visa to make any money here in the Philippines, of course. You can't rent out a house or room, nothing like that. No income here in the Philippines, but from abroad, no problem at all. So stay tuned. I'll put it in the pinned comment, and I'm really excited about that. I'm sure many of you are excited too, because there are digital nomads all over the world looking for a new destination. Philippines might be it. My internet is 450 megabits per second up and down, so this is a good place. All right, guys, so that's about it. If you have any other questions, put it down below. Hopefully this helps some of you. I don't know. But make sure you subscribe too, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.